These are 7 sim racing accessory hacks under $25 that will make a huge difference on your rig. I'm Daniel Morad. I'm a professional driver and also a huge sim racing enthusiast, as you can see. And I have 7 sim racing accessories that are going to be very helpful and useful for you guys that are cheap, that you can put on your rig that are going to make a huge difference. The first thing, we'll just jump straight into it. The first thing is, for those of you who have a steering wheel that is Alcantara, or maybe you don't like the grip. Let's say it's a cheap grip, it's a plastic grip, or it's Alcantara and you don't want to damage it, or you find it not very comfortable if your hands are sweating, or if you're using gloves and it's wearing off onto your gloves, you can use something like tennis overgrip. It's such a cheap accessory. Like I said, under $25. Everything here is under 25 bucks. You can wrap your steering wheel in tennis overgrip and even achieve the thickness you want on the steering wheel, the finish you want. You can get a variety of different finishes, whether it's tackiness, sweat absorption. You can really pick and choose what you want for your steering wheel. And it makes a massive difference. The next thing is for cable management. I might have a little bit of OCD, not gonna lie. I've seen some of your setups out there, and the cable pasta, although it's appetizing, I love pasta, not so much with my cables. So these Velcro strips are amazing, actually. They're super easy to get. You can find them online and you can buy them in like the hundreds. You can strap up your cables, wrap them up. You know, if you have 10 different cables, you can bunch them all together, strap it up, and all of a sudden it takes your setup from pasta to a noodle. I don't know, a single noodle, al dente. That's good for like any kind of rig. You can run that on, if you have a tube chassis or just literally anything, if you're on your desk. But if you have an aluminum profile, you can run these cable clips. They're super compact and easy to install. Basically just slides into the channel on your aluminum rig, and all the cables that you gathered up that you strap together with the Velcro, you can just bunch them up, put them on your rig and clamp it down. It just hides it and makes it a lot more tidy. You know, for me, it's so important to have a clean working space. I find that I operate better when I just have a nice clean setup. You may be different. You might like the cables and it might make you more comfortable. I cannot stand it. Next thing, shameless plug here, because Moradness is my company, and we make something called sim racing socks. They're really nice. You might drive with shoes. You might drive with normal socks. You might be a sicko and drive with bare feet. Let me know in the comments if you're that guy or girl. But we have these socks they're performance socks. Let's say that. They're not trampoline socks. They're not something you wear at the hospital. These are high-end performance compression socks designed specifically for sim racing. And we have perforation on the top part of the sock and then a really nice grip on the bottom that's going to help you do multiple things. Number one, you're going to get a really good feeling on the pedals. And number two, you're going to have a nice, comfortable experience. It could be uncomfortable to have just plain socks on your pedals, especially if you give it like big braking force and the pressure that you put on your heels. So this is really nice because it has cushioning on the bottom part of the sock, and then also the grip where you can keep your feet locked on the pedals. In sim racing, it's not the same as like a real car. You have a lot more forces and feeling in the real car because you have G-force, but on sim racing, you don't have those Gs the same way in the real car. So you want to try to finesse the brake and the pedals a little bit more. That's why I choose to use socks. It's a weird thing. Everyone's like, well, if you're trying to emulate the real car, why wouldn't you wear shoes? But like I said, the forces aren't the same. So I like to have a little bit more finesse and sensitivity on the pedal, but I also don't want to hurt my feet. So perfect solution. Now, talking about comfort, this is very interesting here. This is something that I experimented with and found online, and it goes with another piece that is more than $25. This is a fan that, this is one of the fans I use on my rig. I don't really have those expensive dynamic fans that change with the speed of your car and link up with your simulator, but this is kind of like my cheaper alternative for now. That's like about 80 bucks. So not really included in this, hack. But if you have a fan, you can easily take this. It's like a little hose, like an expansion hose. This is something you'd find like a washing machine or a drying machine, I think mostly on the dryer, and just to relieve the heat or the temperature. But I use this to keep a cool head, and helps me perform at my best in the rig. Now, there's a few other accessories on my rig that we'll have to take a look at here. The first one is this extension I have on my audio system. So instead of having my headphones or my earbuds run from my audio device and kind of get in the way of when I'm turning, because sim racing is a pretty involved experience, let's call it that. And you know, when you're turning, you're doing like your vigorous turns and you're doing your SimuCube ultimate saves, you know, when you have the oversteer, you don't want your cable to get tied up in your arm. So I run this cable extension. It's an auxiliary cable. It's, you know, really cheap. You can pretty much find that anywhere. I'll put some links to everything I'm using down below in the description. But I run this down using all the things I've mentioned, actually. Velcro straps, I use those cable clips, and I put them all down the side of my profile, underneath my seat, and up the side of my seat where I have, you know, where the seatbelt would normally go. And now it's completely out of my way. And when I'm turning, I don't even remember that I have this cable there. So it's actually so nice. That's a beautiful accessory. And the other one I use is, and I have multiple clamps around my rig. I have a ton of accessories. As you can see from this rig, there are more than a few. And just for example, on this light overhead that I use on my stream on Twitch, you can actually watch me on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/DanielMorad. I have a ton of cameras. You know, I think I have 7 cameras total in this room, but for my lighting, I'm actually using this super clamp, and it's really nice. It's a 1/4-inch thread. You can pretty much bolt any accessory onto this clamp. I actually have one for my stream deck. I have one for my light. I have some cameras on these super clamps as well. They're so useful, and also really, really cheap. That's pretty much it. There's actually a bonus accessory. This one it comes in just under $25, but it's really good at keeping track of time. It's this right here. And yeah, I mean, you might be able to find one yourself if you keep it up and you have all these accessories. I mean, the more accessories you have, the easier your chance of getting one of these ones is. So hope you enjoyed that. And I'd love to know what accessories you guys have on your rig. It'd be cool to see what you're using or what you can share with us that's, you know, cheap and easy to install, because I'm always looking to upgrade the rig, and also the community would love to hear from you. Now you've made it to this point, I'd love if you could give this video a thumbs up. Actually, just do it because you made it this far, and subscribe to the channel. I can't wait to bring you along for the journey for the rest of the year.